to Stamford, Connecticut to bring on our good friend Dr. Gio Valiante, the sports psychologist. Good morning, Dr. Gio. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderfully, Damon. How are you?
I'm doing fine. It's great to spend time with you, especially if you talk about the mind game and Justin Thomas saying he should have put the phone away and that the pressure to perhaps reach #1 in the world got to him. What's your reaction to that?
Well, first of all, thankfully, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, this whole generation of golfers are so honest with their thoughts. For a sports psychologist or someone interested in psychology, we're so thankful that they're so open about what they think about. It wasn't that long ago players weren't admitting things like that. So really love the honesty of this whole generation of guys. But, it's what happens to every golfer. I'm sure Robert can comment on this, right? Whenever you start thinking into the future, right, you're trying to play the game of golf, but we know that golf punishes future thinking. It happens when guys have a hot round going and they start thinking, man, 59, right? At what point in the round do you start thinking of 59 is usually when the wheels come off. For the player at home, you're scoring a personal best, you're playing a wonderful round of golf, you start thinking of that score and the wheels come off. So it happens at every level. Golf punishes when the mind starts thinking into the future rather than staying in the present moment.
Well, let me get on Dr. Gio's couch here for a second and my own. Okay, so you do start thinking of the future. You're starting to think of your low score or what you might shoot or what holes you need to birdie to get back on track. That in itself is a mistake. So now you've doubled down by trying to fight yourself by saying stop it, and that's bad enough. And then your mind's already going, and you're like almost doubling down on that mistake. How do you stop yourself from thinking ahead?
Well, there's a few ways. You practice it, right? You can train yourself. But more important, there's a very important question that golfers can ask, and it's a simple question is, what's my target? Because to your point, these things are going to happen. Distractions are going to come. Bad thoughts are going to come. You be standing on the 72nd hole of a tournament thinking, if I par this hole, then I'm going to win. They're getting in the future. But this is for the viewer at home. If you ask yourself the simple question, what's my target? And even if you have to keep repeating, what's my target? What you come to find is a series of mechanisms in the brain bring you to the present moment. Because the target in front of you is the moment, right? So you can ask yourself, what's my target? And then step 2 is you make a fearless swing at that target. Little strategies like that for bringing a player to the present moment, forgetting about distractions and doing what they need to do.
You say, what's my target? What's my target? How applicable is